Yeah, I brought 4 projects. Let's see how far we go through the presentation. I will start with a bit more theoretically part. We called the presentation The Genius Loci and the Resilience of Urban Space. My name is Thomas Busse. I'm Managing Director of KSP ENGEL, which is a company based in Frankfurt, Germany. The Genius Loci and the Resilience of Urban Space. The goal is to design the environment in such a way that it is livable for us. And this designed habitat must be permanently usable. A city is the concentration of people, functions, and necessarily traffic. Nature remains outside. With increasing urbanization, we are destroying nature and in the long term, our habitat. Unnecessary traffic can be avoided and the consumption of resources regulated. Digital systems help to control processes in production, in mobility, and in operation. We implement these systems where they help us, where they give us freedom. However, as soon as the use of smart technologies threatens to restrict personal rights, a critical attitude emerges. What about data storage? And are we excluding populations who do not have access to smart technologies? As urban planners and architects, we can contribute to designing urban space to allow for diversity in use and user groups, to foster networking and to encourage natural communication. Here, environmental compatibility and resource conservation are essential criteria, and resilience of design is our primary goal. But how do we design resilient spaces? How flexible and open must spaces remain to allow for later uses? And how precise and tailor-made, on the other hand, must designs be to the users to be accepted? Let's start with a question of urban identification. So urban identification can come through your hometown. It can come through your place of birth, and it can just be a longing place where you want to live. A couple of years ago, I made a survey in our office. I asked the designers, what is your favorite town, and please tell me why. So the people came up with Vienna, Basel, Copenhagen, Melbourne, Kyoto, Antwerp, Chengdu, Vancouver, so cities all over the globe. And I asked them why. It's all about urban mix, about mix of function, quality of urban space, human scale. We all know it, 24 hours, 7 days. It's a city for everyone, but everything ended up with the question of the location close to the nature. And remember what I said initially, the city as definition would exclude nature, but everybody wants to have the nature in the city. Let's call it the Bullabü effect. So we want to have the advantages, we want to live in the city, but at the same time we do not want to miss the advantages of the villages. So we collected pictures. I asked them, please give me the pictures, and you see the location, Basel, close to Rhine River, and Kyoto in the small scale, the urban environment in Copenhagen, the mixed use in Vienna, the beaches of Melbourne and the lake of Vancouver, and Antwerp, the small water canals. And even Chengdu, a city which, in my expectation, is totally different. The people gave me these pictures, small human scale next to the water side. So let's check some examples. Actually, I found this picture of Düsseldorf, a city close to nature. We have everything. It's close to Rhine River, and it's a picture from 1990. So is that good? No, of course not. We have everything. We have even a food pass. We have the traffic. We have the people. We have the urbanization. But it doesn't work. Is it for everyone? Is it pedestrian friendly? Is it 24 hours, 7 days? Is it mixed? Is it quality of urban space? Is it human scale? No, obviously not. In Düsseldorf, they changed. Before it was disconnected. We heard it before several times. What did they do? They connected, they planned. The traffic is now running underneath. The city can develop towards the river, and nature is obviously splendid now. It is connected. We find everywhere very disconnected places, and I especially want to show you some pictures of cities in Germany. You might think, like in Germany, something must be organized or it's developed for a long time. But even in inner cities in Germany, here in Ludwigshafen, you can see disconnection. And what remains are known places. Here in Ludwigshafen, for example, but I don't need to name the cities here, maybe you know it, it's Berlin. It's disconnected, so the fence and the nature is not connected, and the traffic is running through between nature and living area. I said I brought 4 projects. We strongly believe that engaging with the location must be the starting point for any planning. If we recognize the aesthetics of the location and further enhance them through our planning, the plan has a chance of being positively accepted and enduring over time. 2 projects are from Germany. This is Siemens. It was a big urban planning, and before it was a gated area. You can see it from the colors. Gray means industrial area. It's nice. Yeah, all this area was disconnected from the living areas, and Siemens was nice to say, okay, we do a competition, let's open it up. What we wanted to do is connect the greenery with the urban situation. And the first thing, what we did was to check the site, to go to understand what's the quality of the site. And for us, even if it was industrial area, the splendid greenery, the splendid nature was very nice. We wanted to keep it. That's what we do. We checked from Google the picture of the situation. We identified the trees. Actually, we selected each single tree, decided to create an axis for pedestrians only, where most of the trees were situated, widen this axis, putting small pocket parks, I go back, you see it, wherever we, no, it's not possible, sorry, wherever we found most of the trees. We defined a starting point where the traffic is, organized a new station along the railway station, and on the other hand, we defined an ending point, which is the nature. We added a second axis with the same principles, and then voila, there's a master plan. Of course, traffic has to be organized. We didn't want to have traffic running through the area, so we created loops, and then we did a kind of zoning. We organized within the zoning, developing steps with single spaces as main spaces of each, connected these main spaces, these plazas, and identified single buildings, most important buildings for each zone. And then we developed a kind of quality in these zones. What is now there, you can see it, is this splendid nature. So the topic is the nature. We like these nice trees. It's brand new and the trees are still there, which gives a strong character to the location. And we kept the idea of trees, of wooden things, even to the interior. Here's prefabricated, hybrid, wooden structure for the construction, which gives a very particular image to the inside usage, and even for the columns of the century buildings, referring with the column, the shape of the column to the outside tall trees. In the end, it has a lot of whatever, fancy, nice things, smart building systems, of course, because it's anyway for Siemens. What was most important for me is we kept 75 existing trees. Let's come to the second example. It's from my hometown in Wiesbaden, a small town next to Frankfurt. And this is a known place, obviously. It was an existing shopping mall, indoor shopping mall. And we checked the site. We saw, actually it's over here, most parts historically of this site were outside of the city. It were the apple trees, the garden of Wiesbaden was existing. And we took it as the first idea and developed from there, tried to, even in this street, in the most popular shopping street in this city, you can find the sign which saying Stadtmauer Mainz, which means here the city was ending and here was the fence to the next city. And we kept this idea, opened in this situation the quarter, and divided it into a more green area and one which should somehow work out the situation where originally the city wall was running, organized zones, organized the plaza in the middle, and you can see the network of roads which were running or which are planned now and under construction soon. And of course, then all the mixtures of the functions come into the project. Ending up in this picture, you can see the mineral building on the left-hand side shows where the former city wall was organized. And all these green parts, the wooden and the more light architecture identifies the former gardens of the city. It has a lot of setbacks to activate the inner zone, the small plaza, to give somehow a safe feeling to let everybody participate from the inner zone.
2 more minutes left.
Okay. Then I have 2 more projects from China and make much faster, since China is much faster running than Germany. And this is one of my favorite projects, which never was constructed. But it's interesting because we tried to do a very strong network. Actually, one small story I would like to tell. When we started our business in China, everything was gated. We didn't understand why we should build fences around museums and theaters. And here, suddenly, they were very fast. And 5 years later in the competition, it was clear we have to connect everything. And this is the best example where you see a lot of connection and how the youth center and the library are connected with the mobility, with the subway station underneath, how seamless outside runs to the inside. And since time is running out, maybe later during lunchtime we have a bit of chat and I can introduce you a bit of this building, which is really interesting to me. And the main goal was to create a cultural plaza. Since we're talking about AI, I would like to show you a very small movie, because this central plaza which we created, I was so happy when I was there in the summer and saw how it is used, not only inside as a living room for the people, not only outside as playground for the kids, but then coming to AI. Let's share this movie if it's running. That it gives space for things we never thought about. And this is really put on the plaza, which we created between museum and library, that the people, they can have their meals even inside the library. It's allowed, they can order some coffee, but they don't have to go anywhere. They just order, and here it's coming. So on one side, I think we have to organize the space, that it's activated. That's what we can do as architects and designers. At the same time, we have to keep some space, some freedom to allow later usages. Thank you very much.